What's going on, everybody, and welcome to episode 28 of Bayou Buzz. I'm your host, Brandon Gowins, joined as always by Prep Baseball Louisiana scouting director Armand. Coach, how are we doing today?
Doing good, Coach. I forgot to tell you this before we got on. I got in last night at like 12:30 in the morning from North Louisiana, little 8-hour round tripper. But
I've been doing that in Texas, but I go south to Houston and back, so I feel your pain there.
yeah, so it's yeah, man, it's going. We're quarterfinals this week for divisions 1, 2, and 3. I actually went and saw a Division 4 game last night. They're one and done. They don't do the 3-game series, and it's the second round for them, so they're a week behind. But we basically got this weekend, and then next weekend will be semifinals, and then the following week will be the state tournament, and we done.
Goes by quick once we get going. Feels like playoffs started literally yesterday for y'all, but
I know.
Well, I think we talked a little off air about it. It sounds like you're kind of kicking your other guys' asses in the picks. Would that be accurate?
I'm pretty sure I'm in the lead right now. If you were to look at every division, each of the games up to this point that we picked, I'm probably not leading by that much because there were so many similarities. But yeah, I've been doing well so far, especially on the public Division 1 side. I think I told you that the other day. I mean, I'm pretty sure I've picked every series correct so far.
Yeah. Well, that's why you're the best in the state.
Hey,
Why
that's right.
So, all right. Well, we won't mess around too much. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of this one and just kind of preview what's coming up. Let's talk about quarterfinals and let's preview. Let's start with Select Division 3.
Yeah, Coach. So Select Division 3, this is where we're at right now. Um, you know, looking at it, there's really not any surprises, I would say, up to this point. I mean, here in this top right quadrant, I thought that the 11 seed Rose Pine may have a chance to upset Episcopal, but they didn't. So, I mean, look, going around the horn real quick, I mean, top left, you got 1 seed Parkview Baptist against the 9 seed Dunham, 2 Baton Rouge area schools, rivals going at it this weekend. Kudos for Dunham to making it this far. I just think, again, like we said on the last episode, Parkview Baptist, their pitching staff's probably going to be too much to handle. I'd be shocked if the Eagles got upset here. So I look for Parkview Baptist to move on. And then bottom left, 4 and 5 seed Catholic New Iberia and St. Louis Catholic. They'll play each other. St. Louis, they had their struggles early in the season, but they've been playing good baseball as of late. They know how to win in the playoffs, but Catholic New Iberia's got a really good senior class. They've got some arms, Lane Finsky, JD Hidalgo, who are going to pitch at the next level. So I like Catholic and New Iberia to get there in that semifinal. And then on the other side, I mean, man, Pope John Paul's been one of our favorite teams all year. I like them to beat Episcopal. And then U High and Calvary. It's going to be an interesting series. Calvary's a really good team. I think U High probably gets it done. And I mean, Coach, like for this Division 3 select, I mean, as I look at it right now, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, the top 4 seeds are going to make it. It'll be interesting if that comes to fruition because, as much as we've talked about Parkview Baptist and their pitching staff, if they've got to face Catholic High and New Iberia in the semis, I guess not going to be an easy task because they've got some arms that can match them. And Parkview's had a couple of position players go down with some injuries. One I know for sure. That'll, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah, it always gets exciting, or I don't know, the anticipation when all the highly ranked teams kind of meet up. Like people want parity, but once we get to it, it's like, yeah, well, this makes it fun because it's best on best.
It's
So
best on best. That's right. And look, remember, this is the first year, I guess, kind of different than tech. This is the first year that we're having semifinals in these divisions, best of 3 at the higher seeds home park, right? Like we've always been Final Four state tournament, one and done.
so it is no doubt, no questions asked at the home park.
At the higher seed. Yep.
Because usually when we get in Texas pre-state, once you get to the final round, it's usually at a neutral site.
Ooh.
Or you do home and home. You never have a 3-game where all 3 games are at one team's home park.
So when you do the home and home, does the higher seed, they'll get the game 3 if necessary?
Generally, or it's a coin flip.
Oh my
Or
gosh.
if they can't agree to something, they'll just do game 3 at a neutral site. They'll go home, neutral.
Wow.
But you may do, and also that time of the year you start getting, graduations and things like that. So you have some weird, like maybe Thursday then Saturday matchups because you can't do something on a Friday. So it gets. So I like that though. But you also go to y'all's power rating system. Like there's a seeding, like how you really can't do that in ours because a district champion meets a district champion. You're the same.
Right. Right. Yeah, it's going to
I
be
like that though. It makes for the atmosphere better.
it does, I think,
Yeah. Home games are always better than a neutral site.
than a neutral. Right. Like the atmospheres I feel like we've seen so far in the playoffs, like they've been really good. I'm interested to see how they'll be next weekend when it's semifinals, best of 3, and it's like, all right, this is to go to the state tournament, which means you go to the state tournament now, you're playing for the state title, 3-game
Yeah, I feel
series.
like that round next week is the most intense round of the playoffs.
I agree.
Because there's a level of we got there at the state tournament.
Correct. Right.
So, like, you may come up short, but you can say, I went to state. Like, you get
Correct.
to say that.
You get to say, and I feel like under the old format, right, where we had the Final Four and it was one and done at the state tournament, like I still feel like that semifinal game was always the toughest game to get.
I did. Last year was my first year to cover the state tournament in Texas, and the semi days were more fun than the championship days.
Then agreed.
Maybe because there was 120 during the championship games, but
yeah.
All right, we got way off track there, so
That's all
no
right.
worries. Let's go non-select D3.
Yeah.
My man rolling in late. We're just free flowing it today.
Yeah, it's good. That's good. Look, so non-select D3. I mean, really, Coach, you can look at this again. Like, you can see, like, there's not a whole lot, there hasn't been a whole lot of upsets, right? Like Sterlington, they're in the quarter.
The 8 seed comes to find out the 8 seed hasn't been good yet in these first 2 brackets.
Yeah, that's right. I was about to say, so like 9 seed French Settlement, they went down and beat Kinder, so they'll go up and play Sterlington. 4 and 5 Westlake and Kaplan, South Bow, Berwick. I think this is one I probably got wrong. I thought the 11 seed Pine Prairie would beat Berwick because they have some good left-handed arms, but Berwick got them. And then Gina advances past Doyle. I think Leary had Doyle making it all the way. He thought they were going to make a run.
He did.
Gina
he was
won,
really
and then
confident. He had that grin on his face. Like,
yeah,
smarter than everybody else. I remember that.
yeah, you're right. And then they got the 2 seed ERAS. So like all in all, like there's really there hadn't been that many upsets in this Division III non-select either.
But
now,
we've spoken about that though. Like the smaller divisions tend to be the upsets come later.
yeah, the upsets will come later,
Just
right?
the talent discrepancy. No offense to, but just usually the top of a roster can really dictate more at a smaller division. So it takes a while
Correct.
where they'll start leveling out.
Right. Exactly. I mean, look, coach, if I'm picking this, and I think this is what I had, I mean, I got Sterlington moving past French Settlement, got Westlake moving past Kaplan. Sterlington and Westlake meet in the semis. That'll be a rematch of their quarterfinal series last year. That'll be a really good one. You got the defending state champs, South Bow. They lost a lot last year, but they're still finding ways to win games. Coach DeVille and them do such a good job. And then I got Erath, the 2 seed, moving past Gina. So we'll see how it all shakes out. I will say this: looking at this Division III non-select bracket, there are some like there should be some good quality series. I wouldn't be shocked if a couple of those go 3 games as well. So we'll see, but really no surprises. I would say no big surprises yet.
Okay.
Those are coming in a little bit.
Let's hope it changes. I am on Team Sterlington for the Baylor Bears.
Yep.
Or Miller making a smart decision to come to Texas.
That's right.
All right, let's get to Division II now. We'll start with Select.
Yep. So the select side, Division II. I mean, again, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but this one.
Congrats to Shaw, the 8 seed getting by.
The 8 seed, right. Actually, this is the first one. Now that I'm looking at it, Coach, there has literally been not one upset, I don't think.
Chalk as chalk gets right here.
Yeah, like this is.
Yeah, no, there hasn't been.
There hasn't been. And I mean, this was one, I think, right on the last show. Like we all took Turling's Catholic, the 1 seed, to win it all. We'll see what happens. I like him to get past Shaw. Shaw has an arm that's pretty good that could maybe, challenge him for a game. Buckeye and Vanderbilt Catholic, that should be an interesting series. Both of those teams have a true number 1. James Guidry, and then Adam Bronax, who's going to ULM, who's up into the low 90s, good right-handed arm. And then up here in the top right, this will be an interesting series. Loyola Prep, the 3 seed versus the 6 seed Hannon. Kind of 2 polar opposite type of teams. Like Loyola College Prep, they're probably a year or 2 ahead of schedule because they're such a young team. I mean, I think at one point I looked at one of their lineups and they had either 3 or 4 freshmen starting in the lineup. So a couple of those kids being former junior future gamers as well. So yeah, that'll be an interesting series. And then you got Edie White and St. Charles. Edie White, a lot of youth. St. Charles, been there, done that. They're in it pretty much every year. That'll be interesting as well. But pretty much status quo. And Coach, by the way, that Loyola College Prep, if you remember, those freshmen that I'm speaking about, I'm pretty sure probably not all of them, but a good chunk of them are from that Canes Southwest group.
Give me some names.
Luca Golden.
He's one.
Yep. Is it
I put you on the spot, shouldn't I have? That's on.
Hold on. Grayson Menace.
Yep.
Yep.
They all came to Rising Star games at Prestonwood last spring.
Right. Correct. Grayson Menace. And there's another one that's on the freaking tip of my tongue. I can't believe I'm drawing a blank on his name. I'm trying to look it up.
Yeah, there was 3 or 4.
But yeah, that's that freshman class at Loyola Prep. And like I said, they're definitely ahead of schedule. I would say Kingston Adams, I think, was another one.
That is definitely the other one.
Yep.
All of them.
Yeah. So we'll see. There's some interesting matchups in there. I still like, I think I had Turlings to move on, Vanderbilt Catholic. I'm going to go with Loyola College Prep, stick my guns there, and then St. Charles Catholic as well.
Okay. So feel pretty good about that one. We'll got non-select.
Yep, non-select. So, I mean, again, look at it. I promise we're about to get to some more interesting
9 seed
brackets.
shows back up.
9 seed shows back up, and look, that's where we'll start with this.
Can we discuss? Is it bad to be the 8 seed and get that bye? Because obviously, if you're 8, 9, you're pretty evenly matched. And
Right.
I'm just looking. Maybe there's something to be a little hot coming into it.
Coach, I'm going to pull the bracket down for a second. So, there may be something to that. I've talked to several high school coaches who had to have the bye, right? And like a lot of them, I think scheduled a scrimmage game or whatever,
No doubt.
but it's not the same. Like
That's not-
all the sentiment has been like it's not the same, and it's like, yeah, we like the bye, the home field advantage or whatever. Like it sounds good in theory, but like when you're playing good, like you want to keep it rolling. To your point.
Can I give a theory here?
Yeah.
What the heck do these kids need buys for?
I know.
Buys were created for people traveling across the country, playing 6 games in 7 days, and I don't need a buy. Like if you're the 1 seed, you're playing a team on paper you're significantly more talented than, and it's at home. Like that's your reward.
Correct. I mean,
I don't think you need a buy. Like that's one thing. I think y'all's playoffs, especially with what Texas has done, has screwed up. Like y'all's is better, except for the buys.
yep.
I don't see the point for a buy.
I agree. Like
you're
if
not traveling across the country.
Right. If we're going to keep this playoff format, see, like whenever I played and even coached, you had 32 teams make it. So like one would play 32. There was no first round bye. Like we could go back to that and you just have one play 32 in a 3-game set,
That makes a lot more sense.
Right. I mean,
I just don't get the buys.
I don't get the buys either. I don't like it, but anyway, this
back again. That's
I know. Look, so like
I'm good at that.
Starting with your 9 seed North Vermilion, they travel to the 1 seed Bruley. That's going to be an interesting series. I mean, I have Bruley winning it all. I still like Bruley to come out of this series on top, but North Vermilion, like they were in the state title game last year. I think they won the state titles like 2 or 3 years ago. Like they're always in it in the end, I feel like, and they know how to win playoff games. They got a true number 1 in junior Blaze Duhan, big 6'4" left-hander. Like he's been good this spring. He's been good his whole career. So that's going to be an interesting series. Then the 5 seed Iowa traveling up to the 4 seed West Washita, like that should be a really good series as well. West Washita's had a really good year, senior laden team, kind of the same thing with Iowa, and Iowa's got a history of being there as well. They won the state title 2 years ago. And then moving over to the other side, the 3 seed Letcher, like, man, they're down without their best player, Marshall Luke, but they're back in the quarterfinals, and they've got a real shot to defend their state title, this spring against Rain here in the quarters. I like Letcher to move on, and then Westfell at North DeSoto should be another interesting, good series. I think North DeSoto probably takes it. So, although there's not a lot of upsets yet that have happened here, it's pretty much stayed status quo. There still are some there's some good series.
Good. Yeah. I mean, that's all we want. I'd rather the upsets come late.
Yes.
March Madness has convinced us to have a 1-for-16 cool upset, but 16's usually going to get their butt kicked at some point. So
bingo. Right.
Let's see the upsets late. So, all right. On to Division 1.
The big boys, yeah.
The big boys. Let's see. Oh, we finally got.
Yep.
We got two. We got two. Shout out Acadiana.
Yep.
Whoever my junior college teammate was from Acadiana.
Yeah.
For which one? Shout out to y'all.
Yeah, dude. So this is where this one and the next one, non-select, has gotten kind of interesting. So top left, I mean, the 1 seed Catholic Baton Rouge, they'll take on the 8 seed John Curtis, which I got to say, Coach, you'll appreciate this. So I think on our last podcast, me, Leary, and Davis all picked the 9 seed Rummel to upset.
I felt like y'all did too. I was about to say, man, I feel like John Curtis and the Joe McKnights were not picked.
They were not picked, Coach. And I'm going to go on air and say it, like, Matt Gamble, one of their assistants, he had reached out to me after the series and he was like, hey, just letting you know, poking some good fun here at you. Like, we played that clip of y'all's podcast to our team before the series against Rummel, right? Like, to get them motivated. I was like, dude, that's awesome. Like, I'm glad they used it as motivation because we were dead wrong. So, like, I'll go on John Curtis, like, give y'all props. Y'all did it. And look, they've got history with Catholic. They played in the state title game last year. John Curtis is a gritty, tough, hard-nosed team. Like, they're going to go into Catholic. They're going to give Catholic everything they want.
Coach, this is all I got to say. When you describe a team as gritty and hard-nosed, I know that means you're going to pick against them.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, when that's how you describe the team, I know where we're headed.
Yeah. I mean, look, Catholic was my pick to win it all before the year.
I'm just letting you know, like, that description.
Yeah, I know. Look, kudos to John Curtis, dude. They're going to go into Catholic. They're going to give them all they want. And then on the other side, who they would potentially, that winner would play in the semis, the 5 seed Jesuit, kind of a blue blood program against St. Thomas More, another blue blood program. That's going to be a really good series. I'm actually thinking about going out to that game too, I believe, on Saturday afternoon. That should be a really, really good series as well. Then you move over to the other side. It's where, like you noticed, it kind of gets interesting. The 3 seed Brother Martin, who's been one of my favorite teams in Division I Select all year because of their experience. They're just such a senior-heavy team. They get the 11 seed Ponchatoula. So Ponchatoula went up to North Louisiana and upset Captain Shreve, which was a little surprising to me. It went 3 games, but the 2 games that Ponchatoula won, they won convincingly. So kudos to them. And then Acadiana, they got to go to New Orleans to take on Holy Cross. Acadiana did this last year, Coach. It's like literally the same thing. They finished the regular season below 500, and then they all of a sudden make this run in the playoffs. They did it last year, made it to the state tournament, lost to Catholic in the semis. Now they're back in the quarters against Holy Cross. And Acadiana is another one, like blue-collar kids from Lafayette area. They've got 3 or 4 arms. Grady LeBlanc, the senior, going LSU Eunice. Tyler Martina, he was at the Future Games last summer. Like, they have enough. They're going to make that a series over there in New Orleans. So, Division I Select is that's where it starts to get interesting with some upsets.
But Catholic's still going to win it?
I'm not picking against them.
All right. Just asking. Non-select Division I, that's in it.
Yeah. Now, look, Coach, now you take a look at this one.
Oh, see, you know what I'm noticing, though, is all of the teams here, this is coming from a non-Louisiana, every team that is an underdog that won, in my eyes, is a blue blood program. They just weren't ranked high. Like, to me, I've heard about Sulphur for years.
Yeah. Yep.
Sam Houston.
Yep.
Spidell.
Yep.
Dutchtown.
Dutchtown. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. That's okay, but now you can talk. That was just my initial reaction.
No, look,
all those schools.
Very good. Yeah. I mean, so like this is the one, as far as my picks and predictions, I think I'm most proud of up to this point, because on our last podcast, like, I went out on a limb and said Sulphur is going to make it to the quarters, and they have, and they are a blue blood program. I mean, we had them, I think, in our initial Power 25, they were the 10th ranked team in the state because of the players that they had coming back, specifically their pitching staff. So they've got the arms to, beat anybody. But I mean, starting at the top, the 1 seed Live Oak, 8 seed North Shore, kind of really no surprise here. I mean, that North Shore Walker series was good. It went to 3 games. But Connor Smith, North Shore's junior righty, threw a no-hitter in game 3. He was just too much. Kudos to Connor for that. This Live Oak North Shore series will be a good one. It starts tomorrow night. I think I'm actually probably going to go to game 1. North Shore, out of that Covington, Mandeville area, like, they've been really good all spring. I think they're at the 30 win mark now. Like, they're going to give Live Oak all they want. And then the 5 seed Benton and the 20 seed Sulphur. I mean, Sulphur's had, it's kind of been a roller coaster year, right? Like, they went through a stretch where they lost like 9 of 10 in the middle of the year, and then they started playing much better at the end of the year, and now they've made a little run in the playoffs. They went up to Houghton last week, swept them 2 games. They're going to go up to Benton this week, and they're going to give Benton all they want. I think Benton has too much firepower on offense. Their arms are good. Their arms can match with Sulphur. I think Benton's too much, but I mean, Sulphur's going to give them all they want. And then moving over to the other side, I mean, look, Coach, top right, 19 seed Slidell, man. Like, unbelievable run under a first-year head coach, Cam Lewis. Like, kudos to him for getting the Tigers to the quarters. I mean, they upset Zachary round 1, sweep them. Upset the 3 seed Northwood, sweep them last weekend, and now they're traveling to play Sam Houston in the quarters. And they've got a true number 1 in Troy Green, who's been up to 92, 93, going to LSU Eunice. And they've got one of my favorite players in the state who just committed to Nunez yesterday, Braden Calamari. So, Coach, get this. Calamari last weekend against Northwood in game 2, he started on the mound, went like 6 1/3 or 6 2/3, only gave up 2 earned runs, struck out 7, and my man hit 2 grand slams. 2.
Yeah, that plays.
So Slidell's got a lot of momentum, and then Sam Houston. I predicted this, but they went up to West Monroe and they took down the Rebels, swept them in 2 games. Ashton Boltron hit a walk-off double in game 2 that sealed it in the bottom of the 7th. It was awesome. So kudos to those 2. That'll be a great series. And then here at the bottom right, like you mentioned, 2 blue blood programs, right? Barb, 2 seed, and Dutchtown, the 10 seed. I mean, that should be a competitive series. If I'm picking, though, I'm going to stay, I guess, with my original picks that I have. 1 seed Live Oak sees the 5 seed Benton in one semifinal, and then you got Barb, Sam Houston in the other semifinal, which, if that happens, Coach, I mean, that'll be Sam Houston at Barb for a 3-game set next weekend. And they're going to have to bring in temporary bleachers, and that'll be insane if it happens.
I just had my question of the day that I'd like to come up with. I don't prep you on.
Okay.
You're the head coach, and you get to choose any pitcher in the state of Louisiana to win a game 3. Who are you choosing?
Regardless of class?
To win a game. Class doesn't matter when it comes to winning.
Okay. Does their team have to still be in the –
this is you. Let's just say you have your team and you get to pick one guy. All you're missing is a pitcher. You're just who you want to pitch those 7 innings.
I mean, I'm probably gonna have to say, and unfortunately for him, he lost the last start of his high school career last week to Sam Houston in that game too, is Drew Ferguson. I mean, I think he finished with 37 career wins in at West Monroe, which is averaging almost like, it's averaging over 9 wins a year. Like Ferguson, he's just been that guy throughout his, like, I think I'd go with Drew Ferguson. There's plenty of other guys who have better stuff.
Shout out Drew, but he's not playing anymore. So I'm going to evolve this question of the current pitchers still in the playoffs. Who are you choosing?
Gosh, yeah. Okay. Regardless of class, division.
I don't think class matters. Like, who's got the stuff and the mental fortitude to go just dominate?
Yeah. Gosh, man. That's a good question.
Thanks.
It's a tough question because there's 2 or 3 guys coming to mind. And I'm like,
you can say them all. You can give them all credit, but I'm still gonna make you choose one.
I mean, so okay. So I'll pull this back up here. So like at Parkview Baptist, right? Like Cade Durbin and Sammy Mitchell, both of them seniors with stuff who can pitch. Like they came to mind. And then
is that the best duo?
Coach, they also have Logan Sorrell. I mean,
so we are gonna say that's the best trio.
Yeah, I would say no doubt. But then, so like I think about them, but then I also think about one of your favorite guys who I saw last week.
Is to say his name.
Littleton, man. Like,
okay, him too.
Wait, who were you saying?
Is Hunter Vincent still in?
Oh, Evan Vincent. God, yeah.
Sorry, that's Prosper lefty. I got my lefties mixed up. That's a Prosper in Texas.
That was the other one, dude. Like, I think
about Littleton, which he's younger, so you're going to see the progression.
Right.
The progression this year has been so cool.
Correct.
And so it's like, but he's also not the oldest, so he doesn't have as many bullets in the fire. Like,
right. That's why I was like going back and forth between, and I thought about Evan Vincent as well. And then Coach, I mean, the other left-hander at Barb, Jairus Miller, he's 12-0 now this year. Like, so like those 4 or 5 guys like stick out. And it's
the other thing that sticks out is obviously left-handed pitching's at a premium in Louisiana.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're all talking all lefties pretty much.
I know there's some good left-handed arm. I mean, look, we didn't even talk about which his team's out of it now, but I think I texted you on him. Like the other 27 left-hander I saw last week from up in Cedar Creek, Cade Luker, who led the game off with a home run on the first pitch he saw, and he was like up to 90 on the mound. There's some good left-handed arms, but like, Durbin, Mitchell, they're seniors. Like I'd probably side with them, but like not too far behind them is probably, guys like Vincent and Littleton. Like, I mean, so I think that was a really, that was a good question. That was a tough question.
Yeah. You got anything else?
No, that's it, man. Yeah, we ran through that pretty good. We'll have semifinal matchups next week and then the state tourney.
Yeah, absolutely. I think next week we should probably, I don't know if they have to hop on, but it's probably at least get their picks. And we'll get everybody in their picks and once we get to it, and then we can kind of go from there. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. I think next week will be the best week of the season in Louisiana. So I'm super pumped to hear all about it.
Yeah, me as well, Coach. This was good.
So cool. Well, as always, if y'all enjoyed this and still listening, please like and subscribe. Help Alex and his crew keep growing. They're crushing it in the boot. So that's all I got, and we will see y'all next week.
See y'all next week, everybody. Thanks y'all.